welcome back to the channel. Lots to do today. Hopefully I'm going to finish the kitchen and installing all the kitchen cupboards and getting the skirting board finished off, together with having a look at those Velux windows. But more importantly, I need to organise the lighting. So I've got the lighting coming through from the upper floor and I can get all the channels routed out exactly where they need to go. So come along. Let's just see exactly what I'm getting up to. So I'm looking at the apertures above the hall, the landing space, and also in the main bathroom. All of these have been doubled up, so it gives me some surface to glue a return on and frame out nicely inside. It's quite a complicated make. None of these windows are going to open as they probably would do in a full-size house, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to getting these made, and so that they can sit in those gaps and be the right size for when I do the roof. Evening, I attempted to put these pieces together into a frame in order to fit the frame in. I got up this morning, I took it out of the jig that was holding it all together to dry, and it all fell apart. So I'm going to plan B, and plan B now is to put these in, get them flush inside, and then build them in situ. So that's it. I've got those in, those skylights. I'm very happy with that, very happy indeed. Another little successful job. I've pulled away from the roof space and everything to do with Crossley House, and I've got this rather, what is now a tatty looking piece of furniture, and as I've dipped it this morning in nail varnish remover. And the acetone has worked really well on stripping off white paint. It did have a nice top. That seems to have got caught up with the green. I also discovered it had 4 little brass knobs. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the microwave and see if I can loosen the glue. So here we go. I'll pop this in and we'll see exactly what happens and whether in fact it's, oh, I don't want to smudge. I put it on for about 30 seconds, so let's just see what happens to the furniture. It's actually now very warm, but there we go, there's one leg gone. I wonder whether in fact, it's difficult because I'm holding the camera at the same time. I put it in a tub of paint stripper. I do like the way this has come out. Yes, it's still got a few stains, and those I will work on in order to bring that back up to snuff. Very, very pleased. I can put this back together. The microwave did the trick. It melted the glue beautifully. There are a lot of bits to this, and I've got to put it all back together again, and I can do. What do I do with it? It's going to have a coat of paint on the bottom, and I'm going to leave it with a wood top as it was before, and I'm going to make it that the drawers will open. I'm going to put this console table back together. all drying off, I'm coming back to the original piece that I stuck together, and I'm just giving it a coat of acrylic paint to take that green away. That's it for now. I'm not doing any more. It all looks very tatty. It looks very horrid. But once it's all dried out, then I can look at giving it a light sand down with a fine sandpaper, and then I will build all the pieces, take it into outside, and I will spray paint this white. I've left these all for a while now. I've also given them a very, very light sand. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ends on to the drawers. In a previous episode, I actually sanded it all down, got it into bits, put it back together again, sanded it, and I've ended up now with this rather delightful cream chest. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cushion pad for the top of that. So I will do that when I do the chair. I'm also going to go into the workshop and find some stain, and I'm going to stain up this little chair so it's all ready for me, so I can put a nice seat pad on top. I'm absolutely delighted. This has worked out really well. I'm very happy with that, and that now the cushion pad to go inside, and I'll take you along when I do that. So I've got the whole chair, sorry, and I thought what I'd do is try and make some sort of template for this. So you'll see now that I've now made the template. I've made it out of some board. That's the front and that's the back. So the method I would use for this is that I'd start cutting out wadding, and this is just wadding for doing quilting with. And what I'm doing is I'm making each piece a little bigger each time. So what I'm trying to create is I'm trying to create it so that it has some height. So I've got that one in. Let me just try and do one that's slightly bigger. So that one's a little bit bigger. And so what you have is you have an upside down pyramid effect, but what it's doing is it's making it stand up. And I think that is wholly the best way to create a cushion pad for a chair. So what I'll do with these is I'm going to use a little bit of fabric glue, not a great deal, you know, I'm not going to overcook it. What I'm going to do is just put a blob on there and put the first bit of the pyramid. Now you can actually put another one of those on top, and that'll make the cushion even higher. But for this, I'm just going to put on those pieces that I've chosen. So that's the next bit. I'm just going to put this one into place. I'm going to have to leave that for a little while. It's bigger than the template, but I'm going to leave it on top, and then when that's all dried off, I can go round and I can trim it and probably glue it and attach it to the white areas that are underneath. But for now, I'm going to let that dry and see how that works. So I've got a stash of fabric which includes a lot of Liberty Tylenol cotton, and I find this the most suitable fabric for covering anything Doll's House related. The pattern is always small, and in this instance it is absolutely spot on for the size of the cushion pad. So there's the cushion pad, not forgetting that of course that is the front, but the idea is I want to get that bit there right in the middle, and I want it equal on each side. And I don't know whether you can see already, but that is a raised cushion, and that's looking really rather lovely. But it's important to me to get this beautiful arts and crafts design in. It's almost like a tulip effect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my cutting wheel and I'm going to just take this fabric off at that point there. Oh, careful, like so. I've not measured this. I'm hoping this fabric glue is going to work, and that's probably about enough. There we go. And I need to put that firmly in the middle. So there's an outer edge and there's an outer edge there. So yes, that is absolutely spot on. So now I'm going to wait for that to dry. I will trim off the sides, and I'll do exactly the same on that side. Never throw any of this away. I always keep it. You never know when you want it to use it again. And the idea is that we'll fold it in, but I don't want to do it yet until that glue, I think, has gone off. And I have to attend to these little corners, which I think will solve themselves. I've just got to be careful as to how I cut them and put them down. Now, I'm going to try this side first. This side is quite, put the fabric glue across there. Just keep this as straight as possible. I'm not going to pull on it. When you do upholstery, you tend to pull the fabric in order to stretch it. But with Doll's House work, you just don't need to do that. Well, that's not too shabby. But that pyramid style of the wadding you would use if you were doing a full-size cushion. An upholsterer would do it that way in order to give the cushion plenty of height. And so I decided to apply that to this. Oh, I say, oh my. I am so happy with the way that has worked out. I cannot tell you, I'm absolutely thrilled to pieces. So that chair is now complete. From a bit of a wreck that I bought at a Doll's House fair in Stockport, and I bought it off a charity section. Having sorted it all out, I now have a very nice hall chair. And of course the next job is really to do the same with this. And again, I'm going to use this pyramid style of wadding. I'm going to make a cardboard template for it. So let me grab my wadding. So that's the first piece on. There we go. There's another piece. So again, I'm just going to run the glue down the middle, apply that, and this is beginning now to build up nicely. The next piece, let's just see, pyramid style again, and pop that. And so the last piece I want to do just slightly bigger. So actually it's easier with the cutting wheel. Let me just take that off there. Take that off there, and I'm just going to give it a little bit more on that side because I've realised I've got a mound to cover, and the idea is that that will sit on the top. And as you probably can see, again, I'm getting this lovely effect on top of this ottoman. I'm not going to button it. I don't need to button this. I think it will just be nice just sat on the top. I'm pleased with that. That really is. I just want to show you what I've managed to finish. I didn't film it because I had to concentrate so hard on what I was doing, but I put the drawer handles now onto the apothecary chest. I just want to show you. There we go. That's it completed. It stands up. These are tiny. I'm not going to do too much fiddling with them. They may still be drying. I am very pleased with that. I took my time deciding what I wanted to do with it. I didn't rush into painting it or anything like that. And I like the way I've managed to use the veneer, and I think it's worked really well. Just to let you know though, that I did not veneer those handles. Those little drawer pulls I did using a combination of white acrylic, and I used some yellow ochre, and I did have a little bit of burnt umber as well. But I've managed to do this, and I managed to put them into place, having painted them beforehand. But it was such an exact job to try and get those all lined up. I can see one that's not right, but I'm not going to fiddle with it now. I am delighted with this. And finally, the other thing I have is I have these. These are chairs that I bought as part of a job lot. They're not very nice. They've got a lot of glue on them. So what I've done is I've started deconstructing. If I can get that one out. No, I can't. And I'm going to recover. It's a wood frame. It's got various bits of foam, and I'm going to redo the whole thing and have them completely in a different colour, and they will then sit in the family area, probably with a coffee table or something. As you can see, I'm actually successfully taking this apart. So I've got this to do. So what I'm going to do is I will cover one of these ahead of time, and then I'll take you along while I recover completely the other one. And then I've got two chairs that I know that I like. I like the style that has been cut out of wood, and that is a solid piece of wood there. So I'm interested in actually probably taking a pattern of this and having this to maybe make a sofa. So before I can fit the lighting, I need to fit some beam work, and what I've done is I've taken 1 centimetre wide foam board. I've stacked it too high. I think you can probably see just there that I've stacked that too high, and then I've covered it with what I refer to as mud rock. So what I need to do first of all is I need to paint this. So I'm going to go ahead and paint it as I did before, where I put a base coat of black on, followed by the yellow ochre, followed by the burnt umber. Leave these to dry, and then I can start working out how I'm going to attach them to the ceiling in the kitchen and how I'm going to get the lighting to drop through the centre of these beams. I'm so sorry folks, I'm going to have to conclude this particular video because I settled down to start doing the lighting and realised I haven't got all the seed bulbs that I need. Also, I've got the cooker hood that's arrived and the hob top, but the cooker hood is, if I fixed it to the ceiling, it just simply wouldn't work. So I've got to have a think about these items that I've got and see what I can do. The hob top's fine, but certainly the cooker hood is not quite what I expected, because really and truly this one you would put against a wall. So I need to have a rethink as to what I want to do, because I think because you look at it from both sides, it all needs to be the same, and this one's not. It clearly goes against a wall, so I've got that to think about. So here I am at the end of this episode. I seem to have completed a lot of bits and pieces, which was good, and I will set up my next video and hopefully I'll be able to start doing things properly in Crossley House. I have started putting the beams in. I will show you all of that next time. So for now, I'm going to say bye, and I leave you hoping that you might subscribe, like what I'm doing. Anyway, whatever. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye for now.